Yes, you got a blessing from a tzaddik or 10 tzaddikim or 20 tzaddikim. But if you're not modest, it's not going to work. Why? Because you're not modest. But Rabbi, no, I'm modest. But my blessing didn't work also. Maybe because you're mechalel Shabbat. Well, what's that have to do with it, Rabbi? If I drive on Shabbat and I work on Shabbat and I do everything on Shabbat, why isn't the blessing with tzaddik going to work for me? Because you're an idolater. You're an idolater. Do you understand that? In the eyes of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're his son that's an idol worshiper. You're a son that says somebody else is your father. You want him to bless you? To cure you? That disease that he gave you, that sickness, that problem that he gave you, is perhaps the only tool left for Hashem to use while keeping you alive to help you do tshuva. So what do you want? You want him to give you a blessing to cure you? If he cures you, you'll never do tshuva. If you're not willing to sacrifice for the sake of saving yourself, no one's going to be able to help. And that's really the biggest secret of tshuva. The people that succeed in doing tshuva are people that are willing to take their own lives in their hands and make whatever sacrifices are possible to improve the situation, to listen to Hashem, to change their life, to change their thinking, to change their attitude, and they work on it day and night making sacrifices. And the people that become important in the world, that when the judgment day comes and HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, this person's time has come. Why? When I created this person, I already decided he's going to live X amount of years. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, well, Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to finalize, that's it, it's the end. But he sees, wait a minute, this guy, I only said he's going to live X amount of years. But in the last year, in the last 2 years, in the last 5 years, in the last week, he's become a Mezakei HaRabim. She has become a Mezakei HaRabim. She's become an investor in Kiruv. She has taken Kiruv and getting my children to do tshuva. She's made it the number one priority in her life. I can't get rid of her. Comes the Malach HaMavet and says, wait a minute, but Hashem, you said that I'm allowed to kill her at 40 years old, at 50 years old. I said you can kill that person at 40, 50 years old. I didn't say you killed this person. This person is needed in the world. Anyone that wants to have a good judgment on Rosh Hashanah and be given a long life, make sure that their number one investment is in helping Am Yisrael return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? You become needed by people. Therefore, their merit counts for you also. And in essence, you could literally change something that was already written before you came to the world. But you think that's going to come cheap? You think that's going to come easy? Sacrifice. Sacrifice, Rabotai. Sacrifice is the only way for a person to truly get to the highest levels in this world. And when a person is willing to sacrifice everything to change themselves and do tshuva, when a person is willing to sacrifice everything to make sure that their marriage is a happy marriage and not just one that is stable, when a person is willing to sacrifice everything that his kids get the best chinuch in the world, and he makes sure that the rabbis and the rebbitzins that they have are literally the best and they feel the best and they are going to do their best because they're not missing anything, when a person is willing to sacrifice everything to make sure that his community has everything and anything possible that he could offer, to make sure that they are protected from all evil, all abominations, all idolatry, all missionizing. When a person is doing their best, their very best, and willing to sacrifice everything to help a complete stranger just because he's your brother from a different mother but still the same nation, and you're willing to help him, and you're willing to help her, and you're willing to help them do tshuva, and you're willing to help them get closer to Hashem, directly or indirectly, and you're willing to help them have money for food for this holiday, and you're willing to help them dress their kids, you're willing to do it, and in fact you're going to make a sacrifice to do it. When you've already gotten to that point where all day and all night you're sacrificing, then you get the point. Then you're living a life that's worth living. Why? Because then you're fulfilling what the Torah actually said. Love Hashem your God with all of your heart, with all of your life, and all of your money. We see, Rabotai Karim, that having Hashem in our life is not enough. We have to give Him everything. All of our heart, all of our life, all of the sacrifices, the greatest sacrifices are reserved for Hashem. Now some people say, okay, so I'm just willing to die for him. No, Habibi. He's talking about money. He's talking about time. He's talking about effort. He's talking about learning. He's talking about every resource that you have, not just end it with a one-time thing. When a person is willing to sacrifice everything for the sake of Hashem, he'll understand why to sacrifice everything for Hashem means to sacrifice everything for Hashem's children. And when you do that, you have the ultimate segula, to be a person that's going to be living a long and prosperous life and be judged favorably each and every Rosh Hashanah. BeEzrat HaShem, each one of us will be judged favorably this Rosh Hashanah. Each one of us will do Teshuva before Rosh Hashanah. And by the time Rosh Hashanah arrives in just a few days, we're already going to have the plans of how to make next year even better.